This video is going to go over the gradebook really quickly. We're not going to get into details about how to set up assignments and quizzes specifically, although we'll touch on that in the general terms. Mainly it's about setting up the gradebook to reflect what you have in your syllabus in terms of the grade breakdown. Canvas has all the same functionality that eClass has. This is a core functionality. Any learning management system is going to have to do this somehow. I find that the language and structure that Canvas uses is a little bit less than intuitive, so we'll get through some of the weird vocabulary choices that the Canvas designers have used, and we'll see how to set up whatever it is that you need. So just quickly, here is a template, just an example course with very little content. There are two items in this main sort of course menu that are relevant. One is grades and the other is assignments. Now, here's where it gets a bit weird. Grades is really just for reviewing the grades of stuff students have already done. You can do some manual entering of grades there, but setting up the gradebook all happens in assignments. Second bit of weird vocabulary, if I click through to assignments, the assignments menu item covers all graded things. It covers graded assignments, graded quizzes, graded, what do you call the, like discussion participation, and a couple of other things. All of those are in the assignments category, and one of the kinds of assignments, besides quizzes and discussion boards, is assignments. Not the best choice there, so you can have individual assignments, group discussion, quizzes. These are all just defaults that we get with the Canvas template. And so what we see, there's two things that we see here. One is categories and the other is actual graded items. So each of these headings, a heading for assignments, nothing in here. Discussions, there's one group discussion there, an individual assignment, and a quiz. So what I like to do is, in my syllabus, group the graded items according to what kind of thing they are. There's quizzes, and generally I have all of the quizzes are worth the same amount. There's midterm exams, if you have exams in the midterm. There's a final exam, might be a separate thing, and then any hand-in assignments. I often have practice quizzes, so these are different categories of things we have, or what Canvas calls groups. So for example, assignments is the first group. We don't have anything in here. We can add something in here. I want to have an assignment. It's going to be hand-in assignment 1, and it has a particular due date. Maybe the first one is due on the end of the first week of classes. Students would love that. By default, it's due a minute before midnight that day. Has a certain amount of points. Maybe this one is worth 5 points. And I'm going to hit save and publish. Remember that in Canvas, publishing makes something visible to students. Generally, you want to save stuff before you publish it. This is a sandbox, so it really doesn't matter either way. You see that things are published. They have that green check mark. I can just instantly unpublish it by clicking that, and it turns into that grayed out circle with a line through it. Okay, so hand-in 1 here, it's worth 5 points, and it's in the assignment section. In this course, I actually want to get rid of all group discussions. There's no graded discussions here, so I'm just going to delete that. And it asks about the contents. I need to delete the contents first. I don't want group discussion in my assignments, and I don't want this group. No discussions marked. Individual assignment, that's going to be another another in the assignment, so I'm going to move it around. As with eClass and as with other things in Canvas, you grab that sort of 2x8 sort of array of dots, like a tall braille pattern, and you can drag things around between groups. You can put things one above the other. Lots of stuff you can do there. In this individual assignment, I see the one I created here is worth 5 points. This one doesn't yet have a number of points assigned to it, so I'm going to go into it, hit edit, scroll down. This one is going to be worth 10 points. in that category. And there it is, 10 points. And if I go back to my assignments page, 5 points, 10 points. Cool. So not all of the items in a category have to be worth the same weight, and you use those points to give their relative weights within the category. I'm going to do a little bit more tidying up. I don't need an extra assignments group, so I'm going to delete that. Quizzes. So the current version of Canvas has two types of quizzes. There are what we call legacy, or the sort of classic quizzes, and then the new quizzes. This is because we're joining Canvas just as they're transitioning from one kind of quiz to the other. If you have old quizzes from Canvas, you probably want them in the classic quizzes format. Everything else, whether you're creating it new, migrating it from eClass, whatever, should be in the new quizzes. And the way that you can see that visually here is just in the assignment section and elsewhere on Canvas, is that new quizzes have a filled-in spaceship, and classic quizzes have an outline of a spaceship. So in this, we see this quiz here has the outline icon. That's a classic quiz. This has the filled-in quiz. That's a new quiz. I'm actually going to keep the new quiz. I'm going to put it in the quizzes group, and I'm going to delete the old quiz, because really, unless you really need it, don't work with the old quizzes at all. That's my recommendation. And maybe I want to add another quiz in here just for fun. It's a quiz. Its name is quiz 2, and this quiz, actually I'm going to just leave those details to enter later. I'm going to call it 10 points. I'm just going to save it now, not publish it. I'm going to unpublish everything for now. Probably a good plan. That quiz 2 showed up as a classic quiz. So this is, let's call this a teaching moment. I don't know why it does that, but when you create a quiz in the assignment, this assignments page comes up as an old-timey quiz, the classic quiz. But we have other ways to create quizzes. We can go into the quizzes dialog, or quizzes page, which is just about quizzes. This is all of the quiz type items that are graded. And here we see the one that I just created, as well as the one that came with the template. Now if I create a new quiz here, in here I get an option. Do I want a new quiz or a classic quiz? As I said, always create a new quiz. Don't do a classic quiz unless you absolutely have to. This is my real quiz 2, or real C's, 10 points. You can set when it's available from and to. That's when students will be able to write it. Due date is less meaningful for quizzes than it is for assignments. And I'm just going to hit save here. You can, at this point, you could hit build and actually start building the quiz. That's not our task right now. We're working on the gradebook. This is just to get things to populate the gradebook. I'm going to get rid of that classic quiz. I'm going to go back to the assignments view and note that assignments and quizzes are both have this little tiny icon that's an eyeball with a line through it. This just means that these items and the other items with that icon aren't going to be in the menu that students see. And you can't change that by clicking a publish icon. You have to go into the course settings. I'm not going to do that in this video, but there's a way to do that if you want. Just mentioning, don't tell students go to the assignment section. If it has that little icon, they're not going to see it. You'll probably want to add it where is appropriate in the modules, for example, or link to it, something like that. Anyway, let's see what's next. So this is in the assignments view. Okay, it put that quiz by default in assignments. That's kind of silly. We're going to put it down with the quizzes. I'm going to edit the other quiz that it gave us to make sure it is worth 10 points as well. Save that. Save. Back in the assignments view. So we have 2 quizzes, each worth 10 points within the quizzes group, and 2 assignments, one 5 points, one 10 points in the assignments group. We could go on and create other categories. I regularly have 4 or 5 different categories. If I have regular quizzes and practice quizzes, I want a special group for the practice quizzes to ensure that they don't carry any weight in the overall gradebook. If I have a final exam, that'll have its own category, and the practice final will have its own category. If I'm creating these as, for example, online quizzes within the Canvas functionality, excuse me, assignments, as you see here, and any other categories that you have. So there's a lot of different ways that you can have different categories. In phonetics, I have lab assignments and transcription assignments, so you can have different categories of assignments if they're worth different amounts and you want to do that. The last main bit of functionality I want to show you in this video is how to set the different groups to have their own weights. Right now, they don't have weights, so some default will be assigned there. What I want is I'm going to get the overall assignment properties with the 3 dots here next to the group and assignment buttons. Assignment groups weight. If I click that, I want to weight the final grade based on assignment groups, and it asks me, okay, how much are the assignments worth overall? Maybe I want the assignments overall to be worth 70% and the quizzes overall to be worth 30%, and it shows me, it acknowledges, yes, 70 plus 30 is 100%. Click OK, and this view modifies slightly so it shows me the percentage that each group has. So with those things, you can add individual things. You can set their weights within a group. You can add and remove groups. You can set the weights of the group. Let's see. For things that aren't going to be handed in on Canvas, you can go into individual assignments. And I will actually do that. Yeah, here we go. Let's go here. Hand in assignment number 1. I want to edit this. Hope I can edit it here. The thing to do, if you can have, this is what you're going to do for anything that people hand in non-digitally, whether it's an exam or an assignment. You say no submission, and it can still have all the other information there. Hit save. No submission just means you, the instructor, are responsible for reporting how they did. You can have rubrics that students can see how they did on the rubric with the thing that they handed in paper. You can have a digital rubric. It can help you if you like that for your marking workflow. All of that. If you have a paper exam, this is what you're going to want. You mark it on paper and then post the overall grade. And that should be everything that you need to set up your Canvas site, Canvas gradebook, to reflect the structure of your grading weighting system that you have in the syllabus. As always, if you have any questions, come ask me in person, by email, whatever. That's all for this video.